Why do I not want the red heifer to be sacrificed? Yes, it is that time of year again. This is starting to become an annual thing over the last 3 years that the red heifer might get sacrificed. And that means that the third temple is going to be built, and Armageddon is going to happen, and Jesus is going to return. This is the belief of so many Christians right now with a lack of understanding. Let me give you the basics of this, and then I'll explain to you why I do not want the red heifer to be sacrificed. It has nothing to do with any type of hatred for any of the religions. It is my distrust of man. But for those who don't know, out of the great state of Texas, 3 red heifers, I believe, 3 to 5 red heifers were sent over to Jerusalem. And them Texas heifers, they've never, ever, based on Numbers 19, they've never worked a day in their life. Say they've never been beaten or whipped, and they don't have any blemishes about them. Every hair on these red heifers have to be checked to make sure that there's not a white hair or a brown hair or any other color hair. They have to be completely red. All the hairs have to be completely red on this here heifer. And the great state of Texas provided those red heifers to the people of Israel. Now, the problem comes about that this has absolutely nothing to do with any type of prophecy whatsoever, because in Numbers 19, this is not about a prophecy. No, sir, no, sirree, it's not. In Numbers 19, is really about a purification. It's the purification that a person has to go through when they sacrifice a red heifer, and then they add some other things to it, like some hops and other products to it, to make up this mixture with the ashes from the red heifer after it's been sacrificed and burned. And then they're purified if they've touched the dead body. So you see, the red heifer has absolutely nothing to do with the third temple, has nothing to do with the coming of the Messiah or anything of that nature. This is something that has grown over the last century to become a prophecy, because people have decided that if the red heifer is sacrificed and the Levitical priesthood cult is able to rise again, then the third temple will be built. And of course, in order for that third temple to be built, although some have said that they might build it right next to the Dome of the Rock, which is not a mosque at all, but that they would destroy the Dome of the Rock and rebuild Solomon's temple in that very spot that it once sat. Now, I got a couple problems with this, and I'll get to my real voice on my couple of problems with it. The first problem that I find with it is the hypocrisy of most Christians, especially American Christians, who are enthralled about the sacrificing of an animal. If a Christian were to find out that a person was sacrificing goats or chickens and they practice Ifa or voodoo or voodoo, then they would have an immediate problem. They would call for animal rights. That person would be taken to jail for cruelty to animals, even though it is their religious right to do so. But it's the hypocrisy of the Christians who support this, but would have a problem with somebody sacrificing an animal for their religion. I have a problem, period, with just the sacrificing of animals, because the sacrifice of an animal, there is absolutely no proof that it provides any type of purity whatsoever, or that you're absolved of any sins. It is merely something that you believe, and it is absolutely unprovable. A person touches a dead body and then goes and touch anything else doesn't make those things unclean, only in the sight of the belief in the God that you believe in. Has absolutely nothing to do with anything scientific or anything factual. This is all purely just belief. So an animal having to die because of your beliefs has nothing to do with anything. The other problem that I have, and this is the real reason, the main reason I do not want this red heifer to be sacrificed. It is not because I believe that the building of the third temple will usher in the Jewish Messiah or that Jesus will return. It is the fact that man will become more dastardly. Man will incite war. If the Israelites over there right now do this and then start think that this is the momentum that they need to build their temple, their third temple, so that they can have sacrifice again, we're going to see World War III. Even if we don't see World War III, we will see the Arab nations and Israel attack. There will be a war. And most likely that war would draw in Russia, it would draw in China, it would draw in Europe, it would draw in America, therefore creating a world war. And although that war is most likely not going to come to the gates of my door, it is the fact that the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who would die, people, Chinese military, Russian military, American military, European military, some African military, all dying, all fighting because of somebody's belief, another religious war. That's why I don't want to sacrifice, because it's inhumane to sacrifice the animal. And then it will be inhumane for the world to fight because of their belief or anybody's belief. That's why I don't want it to happen, because it's inhuman that we'll kill each other over a building, over a red heifer, over a belief in a God that no one can prove exists. We are willing to kill each other. I am so ready for the mothership to come and take me away, because humans are some of the foulest creatures. But y'all have a great day. And always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.